Hello, welcome to today's live immigration attorney chat. My name is Attorney Vanessa Ruiz from Immigration for Couples. For those of you who are new to our firm and Facebook page, welcome. For those of you who have been here before or joining us again, we also welcome you and thank you for coming back. Our firm is dedicated exclusively to helping couples navigate the U.S. immigration process. We assist clients across the nation and across the world, and we regularly host these Facebook Lives, just like this one, so we can provide you with important information and updates in the world of immigration for couples, just kind of help people get a little bit of a better idea of what's going on, whether it be from the basics or more complex issues, very particular issues. We try and definitely just keep people informed and help everybody navigate what is definitely a complex system. So for those of you who are here live today, please feel free to comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Say hello to us. We love seeing the people who are here live. And for those of you who are watching later, we also love seeing you. So please also feel free to comment. If you guys have any particular questions, any topics that you'd like for us to cover, also comment those and we'll definitely be there to try and go ahead and kind of give you some clarity on whatever the question might be. If I'm able to, sometimes I try and do it after I talk about my regular topic for the day. And if not, then keep tuning in because for sure, we love when people leave us comments and questions because we definitely will talk about that in other videos as well. If you have that question, it's very likely that somebody else also has that question. So please feel free to let us know. So like I said, we do have general topics that we like to discuss in these Facebook Lives. Today, we are going to be talking about one thing that seems to be a bit basic, but it's always a question that we get from people. So our topic for today is, can I bring family members to the U.S.? So essentially, certain people who are permanent residents or U.S. citizens are allowed to petition for other family members. And so we get this question really often from residents, citizens, and those who are wanting to be petitioned alike. And so that's why we kind of wanted to go over and break it down a little bit today. I'm going to divide it into two. Essentially, we're going to talk about who a U.S. citizen can petition for, and afterwards we're going to talk about who a permanent resident can petition for. So main overall question, can I bring family members to the U.S.? Our favorite lawyer answer is always, it depends. So it depends, who are you wanting to bring over? So we'll start off with U.S. citizens. Who can I petition for as a U.S. citizen? So as a U.S. citizen, you do have the right to petition for more or just different categories than a permanent resident does. So essentially, one of the easiest, and we say easiest in the sense that it's not necessarily easy, but it's just a category that's more widely accepted and tends to run a bit quicker than other categories of family members. But one of the main ones that we deal with, especially at Immigration for Couples, are U.S. citizens petitioning for their spouses as well as their minor children. So with immigration, the age of being a minor is not 18 like in some U.S. states. It's going to be 21. And so for immigration purposes, 21 and over is now considered an adult. Under 21 is going to be still considered a minor. And so minor children under 21, as well as parents of U.S. citizens. So those three categories, the spouse of a U.S. citizen, a minor child of a U.S. citizen, and a parent of a U.S. citizen, all fall under the same immediate relative category, meaning that there is no wait. And we say that with caution, not that there is no wait, just that there is no line that they have to get into to wait for an immigrant visa to be available for them. So essentially, there's going to always be an immigrant visa available for them. The wait time is just going to be that processing time. So like I said, don't think that I said there is no wait. There is definitely a wait. As we know with immigration, they're super delayed. But essentially, there's always going to be a visa available for that category of people. Now, U.S. citizens can also petition for their adult children, so over the age of 21 and over. We have a guest joining us back here. This is my dog, Lucky. He's ready for today's program, too. But essentially, adult children over the age of 21 can be petitioned for by U.S. citizens. And it's one of the key parts to remember is that if you're a U.S. citizen, you can petition for an adult child, whether they are married or unmarried. So that's going to be really important whenever we talk about residence. But essentially, it's just an adult child, married or unmarried, can be petitioned by a U.S. citizen. There may just be a bit of a longer wait, essentially, because they do have to join that line and kind of wait for a visa to be available for them. And then the last category for U.S. citizens is going to be siblings. So U.S. citizens are allowed to petition for their siblings. Essentially, you know, same mother, same father, for sure, we can definitely petition those siblings. If it's a half sibling, there are also ways to do that. There just may be different ways that we need to prove the sibling relationship. And so that's one of those things that, unfortunately, depending what country you're from, you may be waiting a while. So while U.S. citizens can petition for siblings, depending where you're from, it might be something that you're waiting your whole life for. So we have some categories that take, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. We also have some that take 20 years or more. And so, it's just kind of one of those things that it doesn't hurt to ask. We're always going to recommend to ask an attorney to see what the best practice is. But unfortunately, the sibling category is one of the longest in many, many countries. And so it's one of those things that maybe you have to get started, but you're going to be waiting a while. But either way, as long as you're informed, as long as you know, time flies. That's one of the things that I always tell people. I can't tell you how many consultations I've had with people who say, can I petition for my sibling? I tell them yes. Unfortunately, the wait is, 12 years. And then they're like, that's too long. And then they come back to me. 5 years later and say, okay, I should have done it then. Let's start it now. And we just lost time. We lost years. So those years, although they sound like they're a lot, are definitely going to be moving. They're going to be passing. They're going to be flying by eventually. And so better to get started ahead of time instead of waiting and then potentially losing some of those years as well. Okay. So just kind of quick wrap up, U.S. citizens can petition for their spouses, their minor children, their parents. They're always going to be in a special immediate relative category. And then you're going to have the adult children, whether they're married or unmarried, and siblings who fall under different categories, which may take a little bit more time. But essentially, that's who U.S. citizens can petition for. Now, another one of the questions we always get is, I just became a lawful permanent resident. I'm a green card holder. Who can I petition for? And so it's going to be a little bit different. U.S. citizens obviously have more rights, more benefits. Lawful permanent residents have some of those benefits, but not all of them. And so sometimes it's more, it's better. It's more beneficial for a permanent resident eventually to try and get their citizenship as soon as possible. We're always going to recommend that if, a person's going to qualify, because it definitely will open up more doors. And so essentially, permanent residents can petition for their spouses. So that happens pretty often. A lot of times, maybe a child is petitioning for their parent. Their parent now has a new spouse, needs to wait for that person to become a resident, and then they can petition for their spouse. So a lot of times it's going to be kind of like a domino effect. It's going to be, if this, then that, if ABC, then XYZ. That's also kind of one of those benefits of having an immigration attorney to help you along with the process. Sometimes timing is key. And a lot of times, people think that they're just going to go ahead and petition for everybody, but they might not actually be able to. So there are a lot of nuances when it comes to immigration law. And so that's why we always say, hey, let's talk about it and let's strategize and let's come up with the best plan for each person individually. So like I mentioned, permanent residents can apply or can petition for their spouses. They can also petition for their minor children. And so those two are going to be in a certain category. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than U.S. citizens, so they do have to get in line. It may not be as long of a line as other categories, but sometimes there is a wait time of 1 to 2 years, 3 years, just depending on the time that the petition is filed and kind of what the wait time is on the visa bulletin at that moment. Okay, so spouses and minor children. Now, residents can also petition for their adult children, but The key here is that they can only petition for adult children. So remember, adult children is 21 and over if they're unmarried. And so the key is always going to be for those adult children to remain unmarried if they're planning on having their, resident parent petition for them. Again, there is going to be a wait time. There is going to be a line. It might be a while, but essentially a resident cannot petition for a married adult child. So it's one of those things, again, that we always are going to strategize about and decide, it's best for you to not get married at this point. It's best for you to get married because maybe your spouse is a U.S. citizen. There's always going to be ways that we can figure out what's the best option for you. And so just one of the keys to remember is that residents cannot petition for married children. If that does happen, if you do get married, at that point, then you have to wait for the parent to become a U.S. citizen. And so, residents cannot petition for siblings. They cannot petition for their parents. So definitely, if any of those family members are, thinking about being petitioned or, they're discussing this and they're figuring out, yes, when can we do this? It's always going to need to be once that person becomes a U.S. citizen. So just kind of one of the key things to remember, residents, can petition for their spouses, minor children, and adult unmarried children. Everybody else, you're going to have to wait until you're actually a U.S. citizen. One of the questions we're always getting is also, can my uncle petition for me? Can my cousin petition for me? Can I petition for my grandchild, my aunt, things like that? Unfortunately, immigration does not allow for those petitions. It has to be more of a direct familial line. And, like I said, we've discussed the ones that U.S. citizens and residents can petition for. Other than that, unfortunately, there's no direct petition that way. And so, again, sometimes we have to find a way through different family members or having a chain reaction. If, someone petitions for a sibling, then they then get married, things like that. There's always ways that we can try and figure it out. And so, again, we will always recommend discussing with an attorney just because sometimes we can figure out that chain event, okay? All right, well, thank you for those of you who are here watching. And again, if you're watching us later on replay, again, feel free to leave comments. And please, as always, visit immigrationforcouples.com. We're always going to have, some resources on there, and you can also schedule a consultation with myself, with one of my attorneys, Megan, Desiree, whoever it may be. We're all an amazing team. We love working together. And so always visit immigrationforcouples.com to find more resources, to find more answers, and also to get in touch with us. And again, like and share this video so that we can spread the word to other people who may also have questions like this one. So we always have them weekly. We have another one scheduled for tomorrow. And so I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.